In this video, we will look at using your TI-84 calculator to find zeros of a function. And keep in mind that finding the zero of a function is the same as finding the horizontal intercept on the graph. Okay, so let's use a function that we used in a previous video, negative x squared plus 10x plus 24. And suppose we wanted to solve this equation, negative x squared plus 10x plus 24 is equal to 0. Now, I have no doubt you could solve that by factoring or the quadratic formula. But let's just use this as an example to test the power of your calculator. Okay, so let's enter our function. So negative x squared, and again, just to remind you, the negative button is different from the subtraction button. Very common mistake. So negative x squared plus 10 times x plus 24. Now, you might have noticed by now that you can get away on your calculator with omitting the times symbol. You could actually type in 10x and your calculator would understand what that means. I prefer to put the times symbol in just as good practice. So we'll press enter and we will graph. Notice the graph is coming in on the standard window, x running from minus 10 to 10, y running from minus 10 to 10. And remember, if your graph does not look like this, you can always get to the standard window quickly by pressing zoom and option 6 standard. That will get you to the standard window. Now, in this case, the standard window does seem to show us one of the horizontal intercepts. Okay. How do we know there aren't more? And in fact, we can probably guess there are more because this is a quadratic function. Well, remember, we can change our window to try to see more of this. And this is the same function we used before. So let me change the window. Let's increase our x to 20 and increase our y to 50. If you remember from a previous video, that was the window we used to see a good piece of the graph. And now we'll press graph. So there, that's a better look at the parabola that you get when you graph this quadratic function. And you can see here the zeros of the function or the horizontal intercepts of the graph. So how can we find those? Okay. Well, our calculator will do that for us. So we will be looking at the calc option of the graph. And you'll notice it is a raised key. It's in blue, so we will have to use the second button to do that. So second calc. And there are many choices here. We'll talk about these choices in other videos. But for right now, we are looking for the zeros of the function. So you can either scroll down to option 2 or just press the number 2. Okay. And this is what comes up on your calculator. Now, you might not see it, but at least in my example, the cursor is up there at the top of the screen. And the calculator is asking you for a left bound. So what the calculator is asking you for, it wants to get to the left of the intercept you're looking for. Now, the cursor is up here at the top, so I'm going to press the left arrow to move it to the left. And after a while, you'll see the cursor starting to show up and move to the left. And we just want to move it until we get to the left of where it seems to cross the x-axis. And it's kind of hard to see because it's in the words, but it is flashing down there. So I believe I am to the left of the intercept. So now I will press enter. Now you'll notice it asks me for the right bound. So I need to get to the right of the intercept. So let's use the right arrow key to move to the right. And again, that looks to be to the right. Now remember, we are looking right and left of the intercept horizontally. So I am to the right of the intercept horizontally. Okay, so since I'm to the right, I'll press enter. And now finally it says guess. So it wants you to get close to the intercept. So again, we'll use the arrow key to get close to it. That's fairly close. So we'll press enter one more time. And you can see now that the calculator has taken the cursor to that horizontal intercept, and it has given you the solution, x equals -2. So that is one of the solutions. Okay. Now let's find the other one. But before we do that, let me change the window because the calculator words here were getting in the way of the intercept. So how about I change the Y window to go down a little bit? So how about we change the Y minimum to maybe -30. That might free up some room. And press enter, then graph. See, now the words will come up down here and it won't be so close to the intercept. Okay, now we do know there is another intercept. This is the one we just found, but now we are looking for that one. So we will go through the same procedure again. Second, calc, and we are looking for option 2, 0. So we'll press the number 2. And again, you'll notice it's going through the same thing again. Left bound. So we want to use the arrows to get to the left of this intercept. And remember, it's to the left horizontally, so we'll push the right arrow key. And as long as we get somewhat close to it on the left, let's stop there. We'll press enter. Now it's asking us for a right bound, so we need to get to the right horizontally. So we'll use the arrow key to move to the right. See, now I am past the intercept on the right horizontally. So I'll press enter. And now remember, it wants us to guess, so we'll get close to the intercept and press enter. And again, it gives us the solution 12. So the other solution is 12. Now again, you certainly could have figured that out by factoring on the quadratic formula, but this is just an example showing you how to use the calculator to find horizontal intercepts or zeros of functions. So it is right there. In other videos, we'll investigate some of the options, other options on the calc menu. But for now, let's leave it at that.